Alright, hello, welcome to episode 9 of Half-Life Alyx. Last time we left off with meeting Jeff here, so I've been kind of dreading this, but the entire point of this is to make me scared when I don't want to, so why don't we go ahead and get started? Oh, that wasn't me. Okay, so as you saw, we came in through that door and everything. There's a handle there. Can I actually open this again? No. Okay, it's locked. Alright, anyway. I have 2 health. Jeff.
There's definitely a bunch of old bottles in here. Does alcohol go bad?
It only improves. It's all good, Alyx.
Russell, you're breaking up.
The vodka is good, Alyx. The vodka is good.
Okay, so he was very insistent that the vodka is good, and he wants me to bring him some, as he said. So why don't we go ahead and do that? And now I just have to carry this the entire time.
Some of our earliest experiments on the project involved placing old Half-Life 2 models in a level and walking around them in VR. These included static models of enemies, like Combine soldiers or zombies. We found that players really enjoyed being able to inspect these models, because VR let them get much closer than they'd been able to in the past. Players reported getting a sense of the true size of the characters, and would often point out details that they had never noticed before, even though they had seen these models many times throughout Half-Life 2. These reactions led us to the idea of creating an enemy that took advantage of that experience, one that required players to spend long periods of time in close physical proximity to it. But enemies typically don't let the player get near them without attacking, so we felt it made fictional sense for this enemy to be blind, and to feature non-combat gameplay as its focus. Early experiments with guiding a blind creature using sounds were immediately interesting, and gave us a way to create scenarios unique to the product. Thus, the concept for Jeff, known as the blind zombie internally, was born.
The Jeff. Hey there. How you doing? You alright? Okay. So they make a lot of noise. Like the developer's commentary just said, Jeff is blind and audio things. Yeah, see, audio cues guide him around places. Do I have my... Good, I have my gas mask. Do I have my hard hat? No, it doesn't. Okay, so it just stays on my head until the next time? Yeah, I don't want that. At least I have my gas mask on, because that is nasty. Nothing over here. Nothing for me. There we go. How you doing? You're good. Oh, cool. I can actually build up a reserve of SMG ammo, because it just eats through that, you know. Oh. I need some health. I just dropped my health injector over there, didn't I? I think I got rid of the health, yeah, to pick up this vodka bottle. And I don't think... Oh, good. Good thing I came back. I don't think I can get back there. Let's see if I can. Are you gonna let me? Oh, come on. Let me just... I wanna go there. Come on, not there. It really doesn't want to let me. Can I just... No, you won't let me go up like that. Next time on How to Break a Game. Well, they really didn't want anyone to return from this. Okay, fine. Do what I care. Oh, okay. Can I? Yes! There we go! Beautiful. Health injector, 2 things. Definitely not a waste of time in the slightest. I thought I got rid of all the bottles here. Oh. You want some? Oh yeah, sippy sippy. Sippy sippy, do you like it? Do you like the health juice? Too bad, you're not getting any more, and I'm leaving after this, so you're not gonna have anyone to take care of you. I apologize. Okay, anyway, gonna stop wasting time. I apologize. What am I doing? Of course I don't apologize. Ooh, imagine how bad that would be without. Yeah, these are ears.
The Zen flora you see on the wall here, which we refer to as Zen ears for obvious reasons, animate in reaction to the same sounds as Jeff. Early in development, we would observe situations where playtesters would fail to notice Jeff becoming enraged by a sound. If the player died as a result, they felt frustrated and wronged. We worked to make Jeff's animations and sounds communicate his level of aggression to the player as clearly as possible. But if players weren't looking at Jeff, they could still be caught unaware. Adding these Zen ear growths to the environment was a way for us to help players be more aware of Jeff's reactions to sound. The Zen ears work as an extra layer of visual feedback for Jeff's behavioral state, one that lives in the environment instead of on Jeff himself.
Hey! Hey! Anyway, okay, let's see. I like all the janky ways that it like pass over and then I can grab it, you know? Oh, an actual shot glass, look at that. What? Nope. Nope. There we go. Okay, it has an inch. Oh, look at the reflections on that. As I move around, it actually has something there. But you can see what's behind me with that. 9, whatever. Well, this is really cool.
Alyx, come in, Alyx. Alyx? Well, oh, there you are. There you are.
There's no straight shot to the vault. I'm gonna head inside and find a way out.
Yeah, there isn't a straight shot to the vault, is there? So I came in here for no reason. Get to see Jeff for absolutely nothing. Just a second. Let me check that I am... Okay, yeah. I am actually recording. Always a fear, you know. Don't want to be doing this for no reason. I'd hate to play this game all on my own without recording it, you know? Who would ever do such a thing? Okay. Well, I mean, the only NPCs we've seen so far have been friendly, so... Well, the only, like, English-speaking ones. Yeah, thanks for the flashlight. I appreciate it. That is distinctly not where I jumped, game. Come on, what are you doing today?
Alyx! You're never gonna believe...
Russ?
Okay, so someone's definitely here. Oh good, a hard hat. And a blue one at that, as opposed to the yellow ones.
Right from the beginning of development, we intended to feature a variety of visually distinct Zen flora and fauna in Half-Life Alyx. But we didn't yet know how these visual elements would be used to craft interesting gameplay. Referred to internally as Zen clams, the Zen plants you would see here were originally built to add visual flavor to the world and were only lightly interactive. They would track the player's head and hands and would close tight if the player got too close. When we began working on Jeff, we wanted to find surprising new ways to use sound as a core gameplay mechanic. In particular, we wanted to make players wary of the environment around them. We realized we could use the Zen clams as a type of noise hazard by having them repeatedly snap open and shut when approached by the player. We had already placed these clams in earlier parts of the game, which meant that players would reach the distillery with an understanding of how they functioned. The introduction of Jeff changed the player's relationship with the Zen clams, as they went from being harmless but annoying to a dangerous hazard that players would need to take care to avoid.
True facts. I really love all these Zen flora and fauna, you know? Tuberculosis! What are you going on about? Let me just spin around real quick so I don't get the cable in the way. Oh, behind the door. Okay.
Hey! You with the blood on you. You with the blood.
Yeah, that's me.
Got a little situation here.
That said Zen ears.
Yeah,
You can't
sure
fool me.
do.
You don't happen to have a gun on you, do you?
Oh, I mean, you mean this one?
Yeah, look at that. It's a nice one, too.
Thank you. I
It's
quite like
nicer than
it.
mine, which is up inside this guy.
Oh, you already ate it? Yeah, you shouldn't let this go.
Oh, man. You know, I thought we had an agreement. You keep your tongue to yourself and I don't shoot you in it.
Right? I mean, I could shoot its tongue. Or why didn't you just take care of it? You have a gun already. Oh, this doesn't have anything. What was I doing? I mean, I guess I have enough. Would you like help? I got you.
Thanks.
What the hell was that?
Oh, that's Jeff.
Jeff?
Oh, don't worry. You can't see. Here's just fine, though. Got an ear like Mozart.
Who?
All right, now let me help you out. All right, see you on the other side, Greenhorn. And keep your voice down.
Got it. Right? Really? Yeah, I definitely didn't want to put that on my head there.
Early versions of the distillery explored a variety of methods for subtlety, teaching players how Jeff works without any explicit exposition. Though some of the training techniques were quite successful, anything less than a complete understanding of Jeff's behavior resulted in players bungling their way through this section of the game and having a terrible time doing it. Eventually, we determined that explicit training was necessary, and that's where the character of Larry came in. Larry acts as a gate, delivering critical information about Jeff's behavior before allowing the player to proceed. It's a dense learning environment and a delicate balancing act, ensuring that we deliver the rules of Jeff while still making Larry an interesting character. To spread out the exposition, you'll notice that it's distributed over a few different story beats.
Does it have to be pulsating?
Then demonstrates Jeff's predictable reaction to a breaking bottle, and finally explains that the player can prevent their own coughing on Zen spores by covering their mouth.
Or by having a gas mask on. Oh, is this not actually a ladder? There we go. Only the bottom segment was a ladder. Alright. I see how it is. Did you drop anything? No. Okay.
There he is.
Jeff?
Right?
Oh.
Watch this. See? He's totally predictable. But he will rip your arms off if he finds you.
Okay. Alright. Yes, I know, game. You can stop telling me that. You tell me every time. You only told me how to reload a weapon once. Oh, you're nasty, Jeff. Look at him. Always spawning those spores. That vertical mouth there, that is the entirety of his head. Oh, you gross, Jeff. Oh. Oh. There's a bottle there, but I'm assuming I'm gonna need that. Oh, no, thank you. Ah! Okay, VR. Alright. I see how it is. I didn't do that. Okay, that wasn't me. I may have moved without realizing that this is an actual physical space here, and I may have fallen off the ledge there, but that was entirely the game. Wasn't my fault in the slightest. Okay, do I have exposition again? Yeah.
There he is.
I'll just...
Right? Watch this.
Oh.
See? He's totally predictable. But he will rip your arms off if he finds you.
Alright, see you on the other side. Oh. Hello there, you little tiger figurine. I haven't seen anything like you before. You are remarkably low detailed. I mean, it's still pretty smooth and such, but... Oh, anyway. Hey, Hey, Ewan. Would you mind going that way instead? Yeah, there you go. Thank you. I appreciate that. What'd you get? You deserved that, Jeff. Right.
Hey, those things are nasty. You gotta
They
cover
are?
your mouth.
Got it.
Well,
Thanks.
this
Hey,
game?
I almost forgot. What's your name?
Alex. Alex Vance.
Hey, Alex, I'm Larry. Nice to meet you.
Nice to
Try
meet you,
not
Larry.
to get killed. Ooh, nice mask. That's come handy here.
Good.
Who said cover your mouth with those things?
Oh, okay. Will do.
So I'm good with this. I'm just gonna stand here for a second with the gas mask. Yeah, it looks like I'm doing alright with the gas mask on. It just puts that little particle effect. You are nasty, okay? You're gross. Look at your butt. You have a butt mouth. Oh, hello? Nothing over this way.
A core element of both the environment and Jeff himself are the Zen plants seen here spewing toxic gas that makes the player cough. These were not created to be merely ornamental or to support the novel VR interaction of players covering their mouth. They were added specifically to solve a long-standing challenge that we had with illustrating Jeff's personal space. One of the trickier aspects of designing Jeff was striking the right balance between perceived threat and actual threat.
That cloud around
Many
him.
scenarios in the level forced the player into close proximity with Jeff in order to create tension. We found that these moments could be exciting, but they could also become frustrating when players accidentally got too close to Jeff and were killed unexpectedly. Players reported not understanding how close is too close. We tried a number of solutions, such as adding glowing tentacles to Jeff that acted as a visual representation of the perimeter of his personal space. Touch the tentacles, and you die. Getting the look and feel of these tentacles to a satisfactory place proved challenging, however, and we backed away from the idea. Another problem we encountered was that a subset of our players quickly became comfortable around Jeff once they became adept at keeping their distance from him and avoiding sources of noise. For these players, dealing with Jeff felt trivial. He simply didn't feel like a threat to them. We discussed a variety of potential solutions to these problems, even wacky concepts, such as giving Jeff the ability to teleport to sources of noise. But it was difficult to come up with ideas that didn't feel like we were giving Jeff the ability to cheat. Eventually, we came up with the idea of having the player cough. This was appealing, as it gave us a way to make the player themselves a source of noise, thus causing Jeff to pursue them. We were also interested in making the environment more dangerous generally, and so our first experiments with coughing involved littering the level with Zen plants spewing toxic gas. Initial tests showed a lot of promise. Players now felt like Jeff was a dangerous pursuer, and they must carefully observe the environment to avoid the gas. We observed that players had a natural instinct to cover their mouth with their hand to suppress their cough. This was an affordance that VR with tracked hand controllers supported very naturally, so we implemented this mechanic right away. This still left us with the problem of players being unsure of how close they could safely get to Jeff. We realized that the early experiment of adding tentacles to Jeff could be replaced with a much simpler approach of attaching a toxic cloud directly to him. There were multiple benefits to this. First, it gave players visual feedback for how far they needed to stay away from Jeff to be safe.
That's cool.
Second, it made those times when Jeff did get close all the more tense, with players now needing to commit a hand to covering their mouth.
Yeah.
Finally, we didn't need to teach the players anything new. They could carry forward what they had already learned about toxic gas in the environment and apply those lessons to Jeff himself.
Alright, yeah, I don't want to jump down there and risk having a voice line or anything that I need to take the headset off for when it's a really long one and I'm like a third of the way through.
One of our major goals in the design of Half-Life Alyx was to reach the widest possible audience. This meant developing for all of the major VR hardware in the market, as well as accommodating different-sized play spaces, traversal preferences, and so on. The accessibility option that had the most knock-on effects into the design of the game, from controller bindings, to game logic, to level design, was the support of a single controller mode, for players who don't use two controllers. In this mode, reloading is performed by moving the weapon to the shoulder and pressing a button, much like arcade games which require the player to fire their weapon off-screen to reload. The flashlight was modified to attach to the primary hand, and gas masks were added so that players could muffle their coughs hands-free. Even the gun used in the final Strider battle, with its two-handed aiming and reloading controls, was modified to be operable with one hand.
Okay, they didn't have to put nearly this much detail into this, like the sockets for the teeth, and then the teeth that are left. I'm pretty sure that one has a cavity. This is ridiculously detailed. Oh, and then some scalp on here as well, and some hair and such. Oh, that's gnarly. Alright. Yeah, it didn't need to be nearly that detailed. Are you gonna attack me through this door? I think I have to open it, but...
As we refined Jeff's behavior and visual design, we thought a lot about how we wanted players to feel about him. The goal was to have playtesters describe Jeff with words such as menacing, threatening, and deadly. And for that reason, it became important that players not survive if they got too close to Jeff. So we decided that his attack should result in instant death. This would teach players unambiguously that Jeff was too dangerous to trifle with, but it left us with the challenge of teaching this to players without necessarily killing them. The approach we took was to give the player opportunities to witness Jeff attack and kill other characters. Early versions of the level included scenarios where Jeff and the player would encounter zombies and combine soldiers. The player could attack these enemies, or use sound to lure Jeff into place so that he could pummel them with his massive arms. This gave players an opportunity to witness Jeff's power and his method of attack without dying with his hands themselves. Unfortunately, this outcome wasn't guaranteed, as some players would opt to kill those enemies themselves, and having these other characters present was also quite expensive in terms of animation, sound, and level content. We were already grappling with the challenge of keeping this level well-paced and within scope, and so we cut these sections. But this still left us with the original problem of how to demonstrate Jeff's ability to kill without killing the player. We chose to address this by adding beats to existing animated sequences. For example, when the player opens this two-handed roller door, we added a head crab for Jeff to munch on in full view of the player.
Oh, good.
We also added a similar beat to the later elevator ride, with Jeff smashing a head crab against a wall before melting it down with acid.
I can't tell if this is light from this thing or if it's reacting to my presence. I think it's reacting to my presence, and not just being shiny reflective. Okay, last one before we open the door.
Even though Larry instructs the player on the basics of how Jeff works, we found that we needed to let players test those rules without having Jeff in their immediate personal space. If we made players first interact with Jeff face to face, they often fell to pieces and forgot the rules. They would die over and over again, and their fear of Jeff would quickly turn into frustration and annoyance. This area was created to serve as a training playground, where players can observe Jeff reacting to various sounds while remaining safe from his attacks. It contains many of the elements that are encountered throughout the rest of the level, including some falling bottles, a padlock that needs to be shot, and various types of Zen plants. Jeff remains close enough to feel threatening, but he cannot attack the player. Players can spend as much time here as they need to, and move on when they feel like they've got a good grip on how Jeff works.
Okay. I definitely thought they had a different atmosphere thing going on, hence all the tanks and such, but this says oxygen right here. But these might not be full combine, you know? They might not have the whole wrinkly face modifications done. We ready for this? Do it. Oh, you nasty, Jeff. Oh! Just a second. I just hit my desk there doing that. So I'm gonna turn my controller back on. And I'm sure Jeff will be just fine. Oh good, my controller still works. Oh, you have a face, Jeff. It's just been turned into something else, I see. Bye, Jeff. See you later. But I can't get through that. So what am I supposed to do here? Can I not get through that? Am I supposed to go up? No, there's no way up. Oh, in through there? Is that what I'm supposed to do? Yeah. No circuitry or anything? Guess I'm going up there. That's right. There we go.
Jeff's character design went through several significant revisions over the course of development.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Just by looking at him, we wanted players to understand certain things about the character. Our first priority was to communicate his blindness. Second, we wanted the character to feel physically imposing. After all, the entire concept of Jeff had grown out of our observation that just being close to a character in VR could make for a powerful experience. Finally, we wanted players to understand the blind zombie's behavioural state at a glance. Is he feeling angry? Did he just hear something and is feeling curious? And so on. The first design that we modelled and animated was a sort of combine worker robot. The robot's face featured a holographic display that could flip between different icons that represented its state. A large piece of rebar jutted out of the back of the robot's head,
Hi, Jeff.
sparking electricity and spewing smoke.
Thought you were still over
This
there.
was meant to demonstrate that its visual sensors were impaired, making it blind. We made the robot tall and hulking. It looked heavy, unpredictable and dangerous. However, player reactions to this robotic
Please don't come in
design
here,
showed
Jeff.
that it had problems.
Okay.
Players would initially focus on the head's holographic display. Passing the face and understanding the meaning of the icons proved too challenging for players, and even worse, this element distracted from the rebar poking through the robot's head and their understanding that it was blind. Players found the robot imposing, but we weren't getting the deeply visceral reaction of fear that was desired. A trip back to the drawing board landed us with the more organic character you see in front of you. Drawing inspiration from the idea of coal miners succumbing to the black lung, we focused on the concept of a member of the Combine's Zen cleanup crew that had succumbed to the Zen infection.
Oh, that's what
this gave
happened
us
to
the
Jeff.
visceral reaction from players which we were looking for. A human face is still visible, but the eyes are clearly decayed, communicating blindness. The organic nature of this design allowed us to lean more heavily on audio to feed back the behavioural state, with animalistic grunts and roars that came to include more human-sounding elements over time.
Alright. Yeah, but the human face there shows that the oxygen tank is actually no mistake or anything. They are actual full humans instead of the Combine. And so my theory that they breathe a different... Excuse me. Can he hear me talking? I hope not. Oh god, no. Oh god. Ah! Not me, Jeff. It wasn't me, I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't waste all of them like that, huh? Anyway, what I meant to do... Anyway, okay, so that wheel makes noise. Good to know. Alright. Just a second here, let me do something real quick before going back in. Alright, here's where I am. Good, thank you. Where are you, Jeff? Are you down there? Where? Oh. I'm trying to drop that way before I go in. That's good. Already listened to you. How about in here? Anything special in here? Anything fun, fine, and dandy? Thank you. Anything else in here? Doesn't appear to be anything. Alright. Cool. Fine by me. Sorry, Jeff. I have better things to do. Alright, maybe I'll just hurry up and do this before he gets in. Or he gets angry. Come on, Jeff. Please don't get out. Please don't get out, Jeff. I would thoroughly appreciate it if you didn't. Cool. Yeah, cough, cough. Alright, I thought that wasn't going to do anything, but if it's just going to unlock it for me. Cool. Problem solved. Wow, that's a very loud elevator. I'm glad that Jeff is locked away right now. God. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, good. Okay. So I have to replace power. Let me guess. Where to go? Power replace. There you are. Yes, of course you're in there. Why wouldn't you be? Anything I can touch from here? Nope. That's everything.
Toner puzzles are a useful design tool, since they force players to move around the environment and also occupy their primary hand via use of the multi-tool. In this area, the player has to aim their flashlight to navigate, point their offhand to teleport, cover their mouth to prevent coughing, follow wires with the multi-tool, and potentially pull bottles with their gravity gloves. The player has to make trade-offs as they proceed, since their two hands are overcommitted by design. One-handed players are even more overwhelmed by these many tasks. This is why we littered the distillery with gas masks the player can attach to their mouth, so they won't have to use a hand to muffle their cough. This toner puzzle went through several revisions, many of which left Jeff free to roam while players worked on the puzzle. But this resulted in players having to juggle too many elements at once, and their fear of Jeff quickly turned into frustration. The solution was to keep Jeff locked up while players solved the puzzle, with his distant roars maintaining a level of tension. We were then left with the problem of how to release Jeff so the level could continue. Initial ideas involved having Jeff break out from the freezer on his own when the puzzle was complete, but this felt contrived and scripted compared to having the player free Jeff from the freezer. The toner puzzle mechanic gave us a logical solution to this problem, with the added benefit of creating a moment of high tension for the player when they realize they're going to have to open the freezer door and release Jeff in order to proceed.
Yup. Well, that's gonna be fun. Must I? I'd really rather not, honestly. Yeah, we've already read that, right? Yeah, 9 of 15. Listen, read, same thing. Alright. Guess I'm releasing him real quick. Let me just spin around. Okay. Yeah, the perils of having a cable right here that I have to deal with. Hi, Jeff. How you doing? Don't mind me. Spin, spin, spin. I have this, Here. Let's do this. Merry Christmas, Jeff. Right, do it again. We don't need no education. We don't need no thought control. No dog sarcasms in the classroom. Is that the last one? Okay, good. Just leave them kids alone. Ah! Oh fuck, oh fuck. Nope. Not what I wanted! Oh, good, good. You just leave them kids alone, yeah. Oh, I do not want that one. Good call. Thank you very much. Or do I want it again? Yeah, I think everything has power and such. Because that'll bring them back in here, right? And everything's good except for the one out here. Please don't come after me. I'd appreciate it much. Right? And I just need to get this one now, because I was smart. Come on. Oh, gonna just sneak away in here.
Many of our ideas for Jeff involved coming up with plausible ways to force Jeff and the player to occupy an enclosed space at the same time. An elevator ride was on the table from the beginning, but we were unsure of how successful it would be in execution. There was also a concern that such a sequence could be technically expensive to pull off. Our first prototype was extremely rudimentary. Players would get into an elevator with Jeff, the ride would last around 30 seconds, and then Jeff and the player would exit. There was no complicated level scripting, no bespoke animations for Jeff, and no special audio or lighting treatment. Despite the relative lack of polish, players had a strong positive reaction to the sequence, even naming it a highlight of the game when we ran company-wide playtests. This convinced us that it was worth putting more work into the elevator ride to make it something really special. In the end, a lot of different disciplines came together to create the final sequence, which combines sound, animation, scripted lighting, and careful choreography of Jeff's movements and the player's actions.
Oh god, oh god, oh god. Just be here for a second. Don't mind me. Are you not going to break that? Do I have time to finish the puzzle? I don't know these things and I don't want to take a chance with you, Jeff. Alright. What's missing, Jeff? What are you missing here, bro? Come on, give me something. Talk to me. Oh, there we go. Come on, come on, come on. Lol. Suck it, Jeff! Ooh. I'm not here. You hear nothing at all. You see nothing at all. You nasty, Jeff. Ooh! Oh, good. I was worried it was something I would have to kill. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay then. That melted it. That straight up turned it into a blob of meat. Okay, Jeff. You do you, bro. Wow. Okay. Is that? Wow, that's not even an object anymore, that's just a texture. Okay, how to get around you here? Are you just gonna go? Good, good. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Jeff. You're being very kind, clearing everything out for me. Door there. Something over this way. Are you stuck? Okay. Yeah, I shouldn't go that door. Okay. Maybe, how about I just kind of go around here? Oop. Jeff, I don't want to do anything. Don't start nothing, Jeff. Am I gonna have to? Problem solved. They thought they could trick me with something as simple as that. Nay, I say. Cheeky head crabs escape. Oh my god. I need this in my life.
Most of the time, the noises that attract Jeff are created by the player, who is either actively trying to lure him to a new location,
I'm just gonna wait
or has
to
perhaps
trigger
made a noisy
anything.
mistake that could have been avoided. The key point being that the player feels some amount of responsibility for the noises being made. The goal of the upcoming hallway was to flip that idea on its head, if only for a moment. Like a misbehaving pet, this cheeky headcrab appears to surprise and infuriate the player, clumsily knocking over a series of bottles before escaping into a vent. Classic headcrab nonsense. We were surprised to find that many players wanted to check and see if the headcrab had indeed escaped. They would climb up onto the boxes and crane their head up into the vents. This prompted the idea of adding a small Easter egg to reward those players. Try it, and you'll find that the cheeky crab has indeed escaped to be annoying another day. The cost of adding these sorts of secrets needs to be weighed against the potential for players to actually discover them. In this case, our playtest observations made the cost appear worth it,
It's coming.
in particular for the impact it would have in making the world
Hey,
feel
cheeky
more
head crab. How you
a full
doing?
reality where living creatures go about their lives, even if the player isn't there to witness them.
Are you a little cheeky boy? Yes, you are, little cheeky head crab. Oh, there's a thing down there. Okay. Hey, I need to stop hitting my desk. You know. Let me just... Oh, I have to stay crouched for this bit. Okay. This vent? What? Oh, this is cool. Oh, sorry. This is actually really cool. Cheeky head crab, cheeky head crab. Come on. I'm low enough down that I should be able to get through here. Let me in. Here we are. Cheeky head crab? No cheeky head crab. Okay. I might have broken it. Didn't pay attention when I was supposed to. We good? Looks like we're good. On to the next bit. Come on. Where are you at, dog? Oh, in there? Oh yeah, definitely not through there. I was about to have to go all the way back. Looks like that's everything. Okay, do it. Yeah, I hear you. Well, you're a nothing sandwich with nothing on top. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Oh, I suppose there's a ladder right there that I could have used, and I'm not going to jump down. How about? Oh.
Alyx, coming in.
Okay.
Hey, Alyx. Oh, there you are. Can you hear me?
More or less. You're breaking up.
I think you're still in the distillery.
I made a friend named Jeff.
Well, that's great. We can take all the help we can get.
Yeah, we're not really close.
Listen, there should be a big tunnel-sized plug in the floor there somewhere. That's gonna be...
The tunnel out of here?
Correct. You get it open, I'll figure out where it leads.
Oh, you're still here, Jeff? You went through here? Where'd you go, Jeff? Show me yourself and your infinite wisdom, Jeff. Hey, Jeff.
Since the entire premise of Jeff hinged on keeping Jeff and the player in close proximity to each other, the distillery map was constructed as a series of chambers connected by one-way transitions. Early on, we used two techniques in concert to keep Jeff and the player together throughout the level. First, each new area was gated with a special locked door. These took the form of impenetrable Zen membranes that only Jeff could tear through. The player would lure Jeff to the membrane using sound, and Jeff would break it open so that both Jeff and the player could proceed. We had always had a goal of having players describe Jeff in adversarial terms, as a constant pursuer or a thorn in their side. The problem with the Zen membrane concept was that it led to players describing Jeff as a useful tool, or worse, an angry co-op partner, rather than something they feared. Another way that we would keep Jeff and the player together was via the use of one-way drops. Jeff would fall off catwalks, platforms, and ladders into each new area. These drops functioned as intended, but just like the Zen membranes, elicited an undesirable reaction from players, especially when repeated multiple times. Watching Jeff do these pratfalls left players feeling like he was less dangerous. They felt sorry for him, and even laughed at him. Eventually, we realized that we could use combined force fields, which the player cannot pass through, as a way to create one-way doors. These force fields allowed Jeff to move through them, but required the player to follow via another one-way path. This allowed us to build thresholds where Jeff and the player could both move forward while eliminating the awkwardness of the Zen membranes and avoiding the repeated falls that had previously made Jeff look so clumsy. Combined force fields also had a few other benefits. For one, they gave Jeff a convenient way to take a backstage route that is inaccessible to the player, like the one at the bottom of this ladder. They also tied in nicely with Jeff's fictional background as a former member of the Combine Zen cleanup crew.
I was gonna say that, like, as a former member of the cleanup crew that lets him go through the thing, like he's keyed or something for it. Could you move on with your life, please? I'd appreciate that very much. Oh, no helping it. Hup. Yeah. Ooh. Hello. Don't mind me there. Uh-oh. Don't you do it, Jeff. Why don't I just make you go that way? Oh, good. Health that I don't need. That was a perfect reason to do that. How about you? Come on. Where'd you go, you stupid thing? Thank you. Okay, is this actually... Oh, good. Okay. So I'm gonna return this one.
Jeff.
I hate you, Jeff. Oh, the poor dear. Okay. So I'm just gonna return this, then I'll go back to what I presume are two more in there. Alright.
Nicely done.
Thank you. Now for part 2, where I know there's a ladder. Oh, now it's blocking me there instead of just letting me fall. That way. That way. There's where it was. There's over there. Promise. Oh shit! Bye. Yeet that. That's what the kids say, right? Sounds. Oh, good for you.
Creating an experience with such a heavy focus on audio presented some unique design problems. The primary challenge was determining which sounds Jeff should be able to hear and making sure that players understood the rules. Half-Life Alyx contains a vast array of physics objects. However, through playtesting we found it best to use only a small set of them in the distillery. We needed to pay close attention to each object that we did include, particularly to audio design for collisions between the object and the various surface types used in the distillery. It was important that what players heard matched their expectations for how Jeff would react. In early testing, we would find individual cases where players would say things like, "I don't know why Jeff got angry," or "I would have expected that noise to attract Jeff." Over time, we identified these cases of confusion and addressed them one by one. It was vital that players always be able to identify the cause and effect of a noise that might attract Jeff. Failing this meant players were left feeling like Jeff acted randomly and they'd grow frustrated. Some experiments failed in this area. At one point, parts of the level were littered with piles of broken glass that would make noise if the player walked or teleported over them. Few players would notice the broken glass and were then surprised when Jeff attacked, so this concept was cut to avoid confusion. We had to be wary of the opposite case too, where players would expect purely aesthetic elements to present a noise hazard. For example, at one point we had placed shallow pools of water seeping in among the floor tiles. It looked really cool, but it confused some of our playtesters who thought that the sound of their footsteps splashing through these puddles would be audible to Jeff, even though we never intended
glass
it to
breaking
be
on
the
the floor
case.
just there. Yeah, Jeff, you're alright. I like you. I can dig it. Are you not? Oh, okay. That works. No, I don't think so, thanks. I think I'll just wait around here. Or no. Yeah, I have something here, don't I? Okay, and now I can go over here, and I'll get that later. I just have to keep alternating between the tasks, see? And then anytime I make a noise, it draws it to the other one. Huh. Let me guess, there's gonna be a shit ton of bottles in here that are about to fall. Nope, just that. I hear you walking. I don't care. What you gonna do about it, Jeff? I don't care about you at all, Jeff. You're a little dumb, don't you know that, Jeff? Jeff. Oh, more health? Okay, thanks. I appreciate it. Up. That'll stay there, right? I don't know, but I'm going up. Yeah, you enjoy yourself, Jeff. I'm gonna go return this second one, and then go back down there. I'm assuming the third one is in that room that I was in, you know. 2. And then the third, and then we can go down there.
That's it.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I appreciate you. No, I want to grab it down here. I know this is all VR and everything, but it feels like there's momentum here. Like, I know this is a fictional world, but just holding it like this makes it feel like it's a better swing. But then, who knows? Physics has gotten really freaking cool these days. Oh, right, I want him to go over this way, don't I? Nothing else in here? Oh, shotgun. That'll be nice. You're going through there, right? Yeah, good. Enjoy yourself. You have no shotgun? Yeah, okay. Oh, okay, what else is in here? These things, maybe? Maybe those. That one's good, just has a noise thing. Don't come in here, Jeff. I'm asking you nicely not to come in here. I would thoroughly appreciate it, Jeff, if you did not come in here. Okay, fine. Come in here. See what I care. You're so rude, Jeff. The most wonderful time of the year, when your heart's mistletoe and bells will be rolling in year after year. Anyway, don't mind me. I don't even need health. What am I doing? Whatever. I'm not gonna take it back here. I'm just gonna power myself up. Yup. We Gucci. Yeah. Come in here, Jeff. See what I care. Go over there. That's where it was. Noise was over that way. Thank you. Time for me to get the hell out of here. With my third one. Oh, sorry, Jeff. I guess you were entered that way instead of left that way, and I was just supposed to see that, and failed phenomenally. I'm a horrible friend to you, Jeff. I apologize. I'm just gonna abandon you here. Nope. Is that where I want to go?
And there we go.
Perfect. I'm free! I'm free!
Security alert.
Uh-oh.
Reminder, ground team. Mission failure will result in permanent relocation. Response code. Breach. Maneuver. Inoculate.
Oh, is this where you're gonna come from, Jeff? That's a door that I can't open, alright. Am I supposed to... Take that? Uh-oh. Jeff, don't do it. Don't do it, Jeff. And there's Jeff. Alright, should have avoided it. My bad. Yes, eat me, Jeff. I dare you. I can say that on YouTube, right? Good. It saved my place right here. Beautiful.
And there we go.
Security alert. Reminder, ground team.
These things are huge. What even... Oh, hello. Okay. What even caused this? That was a gigantic crab. Okay, that's cool. They didn't have to articulate it like this, but they did. Anyway. Is that like a lock or something? No, that's just not done at all. So I just have to move and then pull up, over, and down.
What the hell is that?
That's Jeff. Keep your voice down.
Oh, okay. Right, I don't like it.
I don't like Jeff either. Hey, Jeff. Over here. Oh, Jeffy boy, the pipes are calling. From glen to glen and all the mountainside. But come ye back when summer's in the meadows. Oh good, there's a button. I thought that whole thing was going to be automated. Let's see.
Figuring out how to end the player's journey through the distillery involved a lot of discussion about how players would ultimately end up feeling about Jeff. Observing playtests told us that most players simply wanted him dead, usually from the moment they met him, but there were some who felt kind of sorry for him and didn't necessarily want to see him killed. Our first version of the ending involved the player's actions unintentionally resulting in Jeff being attacked and dragged away by antlions. Part of the goal was to demonstrate that the antlions are even more powerful than Jeff, to amp up the tension just before players have to square off against antlions themselves. This ending left players feeling a little empty. They felt detached from Jeff's demise and wanted to be more directly involved. Dark stuff, to be sure. Plus, we weren't really servicing those players who felt sorry for Jeff and didn't necessarily want to see him killed. There were other problems too. The antlion attack felt random to many players, which would...
Well, I hope you came across some of the good stuff. I'll see you around.
What did
Okay,
you
the
do to
coast
Jeff?
is clear. Time to get that plug open so we can get through those tunnels.
Figuring out how to end the player's journey through the distillery involved a lot of discussion about how players would ultimately end up feeling about Jeff. Observing playtests told us that most players simply wanted him dead, usually from the moment they met him, but there were some who felt kind of sorry for him and didn't necessarily want to see him killed. Our first version of the ending involved the player's actions unintentionally resulting in Jeff being attacked and dragged away by antlions. Part of the goal was to demonstrate that the antlions are even more powerful than Jeff, to amp up the tension just before players have to square off against antlions themselves. This ending left players feeling a little empty. They felt detached from Jeff's demise and wanted to be more directly involved. Dark stuff, to be sure. Plus, we weren't really servicing those players who felt sorry for Jeff and didn't necessarily want to see him killed.
Oh, that's what I was
There were
grabbing.
other problems
Okay.
too. The antlion attack felt random to many players, which reduced its impact. And because Jeff presumably died off-screen, players were left without a sense of closure. This prevented players from being able to switch gears and settle in for their encounter with the antlions. The trash compactor was a solution to these problems. It gave players the opportunity to decide Jeff's fate and be left with a sense of closure whether they decided to squash him or just leave him imprisoned. Even so, it has to be admitted that most players seem to crush Jeff with zero hesitation. Monsters.
Monsters. I feel bad. I'm sorry, Jeff. Can I let you out again? I can let you out again. I'm not gonna. Back in you go, Jeff. Okay. Maybe not. Well, first thing, you need to go that way. Please and thank you. Secondly, I open this again. Third, you go in there. Fourth, I close it again. Fifth, I... Come on. Oh, is that not done?
Look for a blinking light.
There you go. Wow, those things are actually quite difficult to get. And this one, I assume?
That tunnel heads to the vault.
Great. Also, little heads up. I think the tunnel is full of antlions. Just in case I cut out permanently.
Antlions.
Yeah, you know, aliens with stabby legs.
Oh, yes, and very small, like ants.
Is that what these things
like
are?
tiny little lions.
No, that's not them. These
Excuse
ones
me.
pretty dangerous.
Right,
Dane.
well, whatever they are, they're down that tunnel.
Yep. Off I go.
This thing is huge. Okay. Step 6. Oh. Step 6. Release Jeff. Because no one else will. There you go, Jeff. Enjoy. Bye, Jeff. It's nice seeing you. If I just go here, you're good, right? You won't attack me or anything? Oh. Live free, Jeff. Live for another day. Okay, see what I care. Well, this is probably the end of the episode. Let's see what happens down here. Ah, not what I wanted. Really? Really? This is how we're gonna end it? This is what we're gonna do with our lives. Falling 5 feet down, breaking an ankle, and dying to the antlions. Ugh. You better have saved. Right before opening that or something. Jeff better still be alive. Oh, good. Good. then I'll just trigger the voice acting. No, I'll wait.
Good news. That tunnel heads to the vault.
Great. Also, little heads up. I think the tunnel is full of ant lions. Just in case I cut out permanently.
Ant lions.
Yeah,
Enjoy,
you know,
Jeff.
aliens with stabby legs.
Oh, yes. And very small, like ants.
No.
Like tiny little lions.
No, that's not them. These ones are pretty dangerous.
Right. Well, whatever they are, they're down that tunnel.
Yep. Off I go.
Goodbye, Jeff. It was nice knowing you. Okay, fine. I'll take it one step at a time. Half a step down every time. Excuse me, are you not gonna let me? Seriously? That was like 8 times further than what I fell and died before. Okay. Oh, I do not like this. I do not like this in the slightest. Oh, and that's closing above me? Oh, God. God. Alright. Okay then, let's do this. I am not happy right now. Well, at least I got to save a life through Jeff. If I remember Antlion lore correctly from Half-Life 2, you want to stay on the rocks because the sandy bits summon it. Is that still triggerable? No. Nothing on it? Yeah, see how that one died there and then that one died there? You want to stay on the rock so the vibrations of your footsteps don't do anything. That way, I guess? I can't jump? Yeah, I'm just gonna go this way instead. Alright, and with that, that's the end of episode 9 of Half-Life Alyx. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with Jeff. Definitely one of the better memories that I've had lately. Alright, see you next time.